Even if evolution were true, what laws that are driving evolution, where do they come from?
I guess I don't know. Why couldn't we trust their minds if they're just made of matter?
Well, because if physics drive everything and there's no immaterial realm, if we're mind, then how can physics drive conclusions that are true? They might drive conclusions that lead to survival, but not true. Like right now, we're having a conversation, right?
Yes.
What physical laws are creating your response to me and my response to you?
I guess all of the atoms and particles and all the laws of nature just wrapped up together in a ultra complex way.
Well, yeah, but how do they come up with these unique questions? We're having a conversation here. Are we saying that different chemicals come into existence when I say pink elephant, and different chemicals come up in your mind when you say white rhinoceros?
Yeah.
And that would be more of a miracle than saying we just have minds.
Would it?
Yeah.
Because it's like I guess think of like a computer. Uh-huh. Like we have like the screen of our eyes basically, but like you can't just like break open a computer and see, oh look, there's the pink elephant that's stored in there.
That's right.
You can go onto the computer, type pink elephant, and there's the pink elephant.
Right, but this computer's designed. And that's why we can trust it. If a computer was not designed, would you trust it?
I mean, I guess I'm having a hard time thinking of what that would even look like.
That's right. That's my point. That's Lewis's point.
Yeah.
Why we can trust our minds. We know that. Mm-hmm. That's the effect. The question is, what caused that?
I guess evolution.
But even if evolution were true, what laws that are driving evolution, where do they come from?
I guess I don't know.
Yeah, see, that's what Lewis is saying here. That when you get back to it, if the thoughts that you have are merely the byproducts of some atoms within my skull, then you should have no reason to trust those thoughts. But you can trust your thoughts, so you ought not reason back to an undesigned mind. You ought to reason back to a designed mind. In fact, here's what John Lennox asked some scientist friends of his who are atheists. He says, how do you do science? And they say, oh, I got this machine. And he goes, no, I'm not talking about a machine in your office or your lab. How do you do science up here? And they say, you mean with mind? They start to say mind, and they catch themselves and say brain. And they say brain, and he says, yeah, with your brain. What's the history of your brain? How did your brain get here? And they say, oh, my brain is the product of random forces that didn't have its end in mind. And then Lennox says, and you trust it? Oh. Yeah, well, why would you trust such a thing? Why would you trust a computer if such a computer could come into existence out of nothing if it wasn't designed?
It hasn't let me down before. Or it has, but not.
Right, because you already have the effect, but you need to reason back to the cause. Right? Your mind is an effect. So what caused your mind is the question. Laws, which do the same thing over and over again, physics does the same thing over and over again. How does it give us this diverse variety of conversation we're having right now?
The universe is a very big place. It would at least be a little logical that certain conversations would happen between intelligent beings.
Right, but where do intelligent beings come from? That's the question. See, physics does the same thing over and over again. Where does the genetic code come from? This is a software program, right? Programs come from programmers. In all our experience, that's where it comes from. So that's where we have an effect, this software program. The question is, what caused it? Why would we say natural laws which do the same thing over and over again, which can't produce this specified complexity we see in a code?
Is every star the same?
No, every star is not the same, but stars aren't specified and complex. Specified complexity is like a program, like a pattern, like this is specified complexity. You would never see this. Let me just give you a simple example. If you're walking along the beach and you see John loves Mary in the sand, you don't think the waves made that. You don't think crabs came out of the water and made that message, right? You say that message requires a mind. Well, if that message, John loves Mary, requires a mind, then what happens if you find a message 3.5 billion letters long? That's got to require a mind too. That's what we're saying.
Yeah. But to that, I would say you could see like a skull in the rocks and say, oh, that's a message of an omen of death or whatever. And even though it was just the waves washing up on the shore that created this.
Yeah, we're not saying you can't find things that look odd in nature that, oh, that looks like it could be Grandfather Mountain. Looks like the way that stone comes out. Looks like it's his nose. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about specified complexity. If Christianity were true, would you become a Christian?
Yeah.
Okay, if I gave you a book, I have no more money left. Would you read it?
Probably, yeah. Yes.
Okay.